Hi there guys, this is Jujitsu and we're here with another Premier Forgotten Realms draft. One of many, and let's just jump into it. We get the Cave of the Forgotten Frost Dragon, which is a decent first pick. We get Blink Dog, which I am not too keen about. It's just a bit too slow. Double Strike is nice, but don't think you want to blink too much, and there's plenty of removal that you can remove this guy with. Other options. Ray of Frost is pretty good, but I don't know if I want to first pick it. We have a lot of blue here, and we barely have any green, so that's noticeable, for pack 2. I think that next 3 players perhaps are going to be picking blue spells. Plate armor is okay. I'm typically not too excited about most equipments in this format. I think it's a very aggressive and it's a very tempo-oriented format, so investing into a mana sink like this isn't great. Things that might wheel. Hexblade, Null Hunter, Armory Veteran, I think it'll be picked beforehand. The Paladin's Shield might wheel, and we'll see. Okay, wow. So the rare was taken, insta-picked, some may say. And our pick will most definitely be the power word kill. Sheesh. What is up with my English today? Just crazy. It's gonna remove not dragons, not devils, not demons, not angels, but a lot of the chubby stuff. Green creatures will kill just about anything. And once again, it's a very tempo high environment, so very happy to take this up. Black white is a color combination, not a very popular one. I think it mostly revolves around venturing into the dungeon, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, definitely gonna take the power word here. We might look into other colors. We're not married into either of them, but yeah, this is definitely gonna be a sweet pick. Here we have even more blue, which is more by chance than anything else in my opinion. We have a loathsome troll, which I'm okay with. I'm not too excited. We have a Hama Pashar, which I think I haven't really played with, but I don't think blue. I have ever played blue white. I don't think it's. I don't know. It's a very natural color combination from what I've seen. But I think that's pretty interesting. We could try going down that route. The champion's pretty good, but I think he's a bit better in red, where you have the rapiers. I don't think white has a lot of good slash cheap equipments to offer, but it's also a viable option. I think it's probably between this guy and the champion. I'll try this out. I think it's good enough, and we might get some. There we go. Okay, so in here we get Displacer Beast, and we have another champion. Would we want to go down the more aggressive path? But I think that since we're peeking into these colors, we might as well be consistent about it. I talked a bit about Displacer Beast. I think that 3-2 for 3 is reasonable. It's going to trade every now and then with a 2-2, which isn't great, but it can also trade up with 3-3s if you're on the defensive side and you're not swinging. And, it's things to do in the late game. You can it's 7 mana to return and recast him, but it's decent enough. And generally, a decent body with a venture into the dungeon is something you want to have. So we'll go ahead and take that. And I don't know, it seems like we might be going into blue even though we didn't want to. Even though we didn't want to. 3 colors. How viable? We're probably not going to be aggro, so dungeon crawler's out of the question, but black dragon might work if we're going to be venturing a lot into the dungeon. Venturing into the dungeon also means treasures, so it does imply some scrying, some fixing, so we can be perhaps a bit more greedy if we're playing slower. Contact the other plane will probably have other options gaining that. And yeah, sure, we'll take a black dragon. So we're probably going to be playing a slightly slower deck. Not too fond of our options here. Yeah, Fly's a really good card, but you have to be aggressive to play it. I wonder. I wonder. Yeah, nothing else too exciting here. Yeah, we'll take the Fly and we'll see how it goes. Maybe White's going to be ending up being the splash here rather than anything else. And this is not our original pack, so it's not like Blink Dog Wheeled. We're going to see there's a high chance we're going to be seeing a another Blink Dog. Bull Strength is nice, but on our colors. Aberrant is okay. I am not too fond of him, to be honest. We'll take the half elf monk. Okay, so this is the last pack we're going to be seeing, and the next one is going to be our wheel, the original pack. So we'll take Clan Under. He's fine. If we do finish any dungeons, then that's pretty great. If we can return the Displacer Beast, then it's dungeon venturing bonanza evermore. Okay, and there's our original pack. We could take the Hexblade. No treasures as of yet. And we could take the Contact. I think that we're more likely to see more Contacts the other plane than Hexblade. And as I say that, we do get another one. Looks like white is like the splashier color. Hard to decide. It's either going to be a Contact. This isn't, nah, not too fond of this, to be honest. Let's take a Contact. Okay, let's take a Thieves Tool. We'll see. Probably won't play this. Same here. Wow, okay, so we get Nadar. So 3/3 for 3, enters the battlefield or swings. You venture into the dungeon, and then he turns into a glorious anthem, pumping up your creatures once you finish a dungeon. So very good stuff. Definitely better than Displacer Beast, but not all cards can be Nadar himself, the Selfless Paladin. So that's definitely going to be our pick. In terms of things that might wheel and we might consider, I think that the Clattering Skeletons seems like the viable option here. And not much otherwise. Other cards of interest, Dragon's Fire is going to be snatched. Lurking Roper. Innkeeper's okay. Sira, Rapier, but nothing in our colors. Hopefully we send a strong signal to the guy to our right and we get the good stuff. Here we have... Yeah, okay, so Grim Bounty is probably going to be the pick. Other cards to consider. Temple of the Dragon Queen is essentially a land that enters tap unless you have a dragon and you pick a color, so it's the fixing you want at that given moment without thinning your deck for lands. And actually it's something to consider. It is something to consider, but I don't think we can really pick it over a Grim Bounty. It is glorified Evolving Wilds in the end, so I think we'll just go for the Grim Bounty. And yeah, I think white's going to be our off color. We're going to be going like blue-black with some white. And perhaps even running 18 lands if we have methods of draw discard, but we wanna hit land drops very consistently. So we'll go with that. Yep. Grim Wanderer is just not the deck you wanna. This is not the deck you wanna play Grim Wanderer in. If you have a bunch of 2-drops and you're swinging every turn and you're very aggressive, then you can usually get that stuff off consistently. But it's just not that kind of deck. This card I have learned is not as great as Oblivion Ring, significantly so. Giving your opponent a treasure is a significant drawback. That being said, a lot of decks just do not have any solution for enchantments, and this is like proper removal. And the drawback is that you give your opponent a treasure. And that's going to be our pick. Gorgon's Clutches is nice, though once again a bit more for the aggro decks. Bar the Gate is okay. I'm not too big about counters in Limited, because if you're on the draw, it can just get very awkward. You're not supposed to hold mana up in this format too frequently, especially if you have a board disadvantage, which is typically going to happen when you're on the draw. Yeah, I guess we'll go Gorgon's Clutches. It's not the best, but it's definitely something. It is a playable. There we go. Here we have a Precipitous Drop. We also have a Gargoyle, which is interesting, but I think the drop's a bit better. 4 toughness is not bad. Decisions. I am fond of the Gargoyle, but I think that if we finish a dungeon, then we'll probably won't be lacking in win conditions. So we'll go for the removal here. Yep, yep, yep. Wow, this is a pretty late magic missile. And this is also a pretty late trickster, but we don't have a lot of rolling mechanics. What we do have is a dire need for fixing. So I'll take the Evolving Wilds and never look back. We truly don't have a lot of card rolling, die rolling effects, so happy to pick this up. And this is the wheel. Dungeon map is okay, although a bit slow. I don't think that we mostly need fixing. We don't really need aggressive ramping into turns 5 and higher. So we'll take it. I'm not sure if we'll play it. I've typically been pretty upset with this card. Phase Reversal is an option. Shambling Ghast is an option just because we might want the fixing. Reversals tend to come around pretty late. I'll take a Shambling Ghast in case like our early game is crazy slow and we need that extra something. And we can cut things, but I'd much rather just keep signaling. I guess this is playable if we really need another guy. And okay, as I say that, we get even more Ghasts. There we go, there's a reversal. Now we can start axing things. Actually, the Valor Singer's pretty good. Pretty late Valor Singer. I do not play Eyes of the Beholder. I don't care how big the threat is. I think that expending 6 mana without too many alternatives to kill something is overcommitting. Options, options, options. They are fewer than they may seem. Portable Hull is probably going to be our pick. Let's just look at this gorgeous Hobgob. He can nuke something for the amount of goblins that enter the battlefield this turn, and he's a small banner holder for goblins. Actually, you hear something on the watch is pretty decent as well. Whether you take Portable Hull over you hear something on the watch depends on how confident you are in dealing with the early game. I think that something on the watch might even be a bit better, a bit more versatile. This can also like get equipments and stuff, but yeah, I think something on the watch might actually be a bit better. Let's go for that. Can deal with a wider range of threats. So, Fly's starting to look interesting with our 2 Shamblers. Apprentice. So yeah, Apprentice is probably going to be our pick here. This is cool, but Apprentice comes into play, ventures into the dungeon already. 3 mana, 2/2 flyer that does that. It's pretty sweet. Then at the beginning of every combat step, if you finish a dungeon, you can turn something into a bird. You don't create a bird, something becomes a bird. So either one of your stuff becomes a bird, or you can turn a threat into a bird, or you could do nothing, which is also fine. But 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer that ventures is pretty sweet indeed. No removal or other mention-worthy cards. If we wheel another secret door, we might take it. Ooh, options. We like options. So we have another eccentric apprentice. That is one option. We have this guy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna want another apprentice. Don't see. Nope. 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 We don't have a lot of ways to gain value from the smith, so I think this is pretty straightforward. So we'll go for that. If the ally wheels, we might take it, even though it's white heavy, and white currently seems more within the realms of splash. Blue dragon, just not as exciting. I think we're actually, the right way to go about it is that we're black heavy, I'd say, and we're dabbling in both white and blue. This is no black dragon. This will gain you some protection, but black dragon just kills stuff and they cost. I guess it's also a bigger dragon, but I tend to prefer the black dragon. We're good in terms of 3-drops. Things to consider. I might want to have a single copy run to the come to a river. It's either that or the Charmed Sleep. I wonder if we can support it mana-wise. And I'm a bit skeptic. And I think we'll go with the river. And I think we're good in terms of playables at the moment. Everything we pick will be an upgrade, so to speak. 1, 2, So we have quite a few 3-drops. I'm considering taking the Ancient Lore, Priest of Ancient Lore, or the Planner Ally. They're both decent options. Monk, once again, very demanding in terms of colors. Won't necessarily have that. We'll go for the Ally. We're kind of, we're not very deep in terms of top of the curve. Ooh, this is good. Wizard class. Yeah, wow, we want a lot of stuff from this pack. We would have also been happy with the Veteran, and perhaps even the Evolving Wilds. I'm actually considering picking the Evolving Wilds over the Wizard class. But I don't think you're supposed to do that. The Wizard class is a bit too good. So it's typically like 1 mana, and then you turn 3, draw 2 cards, pretty standard, and suddenly it becomes like a win condition, you know, if you have a lot of mana. And we get another Displacer Beast. Is there a case for taking the Veteran over it, just in terms of curve? Don't think so. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. We can start cutting some of the weirder stuff here. Investigator. Bum, bum, bum. We might take this just for curve purposes. We'll decide later on. Sure, playable. There we go. So this might replace like a Shortcut Seeker. I don't know if we're gonna be able to drop this guy like consistently. We'll think about it. I'm a skeptic when it comes to our mana solutions. So we have 27 cards at the moment, and we're gonna want to make some cuts. Thieves Tool. I wonder. Yeah, we're probably not gonna play that. Okay, so in terms of 4-drops, I think we're good. Wow, this is like break even. I think we're gonna want to put some more emphasis into black. We'll just go ahead and do that off the bat. If we can start with it, if we can get the Shamblers off, which I think we need, and against the aggro decks, then I think we'll be okay. I actually like the Hexblade. And let's start axing things. We're gonna want to axe about 5 cards. I think we can do without the clutches. I'm fond of it, but once again, it's a bit more for the aggro decks. I think that if we manage to stabilize mid to late game, then we'll be fine. Shocking Grasp is okay, but once again, we're taking cards out. Can do without the Investigator. Can do without the Ally. I think we do want to run 18 lands, right? How many creatures are we running? 14. Yeah, so for a control deck, we're pretty heavy on creatures. I'm considering axing the Thieves Tool, even though I'm fond of it. We don't have a lot of creatures that we want to hit face. I mostly like it so that we can, you know, ramp up to turn 4 and maybe get through with Barrowin, something like that. Yeah, this is probably good enough. Yeah, okay, looks good. Looks good. We have the plan. Okay, so that was the deck, and I'll see you guys in round number 1.